Greetings, Uverse. Welcome to Gunverse YouTube channel. Today I'm mounting, bought a Sig Buckmaster scope, and I'm going to mount it onto my Ruger Precision rimfire. I'm going to show you the proper way how to mount, and in the second part of the series, or the video, I'm going to show you how to properly zero it into. Alright, so this is what we're working with today. We've got the Sig Buckmaster scope, and I've got the mounting bracket in today. So, and then in there I've got my 17 HMR. So that's what we're working with today. So we get all that unboxed. Give me a sec. All right, so just bear with me while I get this set up. Alright, so as you can see, the Tasco is going to have to come off. Go get a screwdriver. But in the meantime, I can show you guys. So there are several kind of rifle scope mounts that were available for purchase. Obviously, like everything else, you really got to do your research, because there's a lot of garbage out there, folks. So obviously we got the Picatinny rail right up here, and we got the Picatinny rail mount for this is a 1-inch rifle scope mount. So what you do is you measure, take the boxes so I can show you. What you do is you measure the neck of your scope where the mounts go. So in this case it would be right here and right here, and in my case I had a 1-inch rifle scope neck, so I ordered a 1-inch receiver for the rifle scope. So hopefully everything fits, but this is quite a nice scope, if I do say so myself. A reticle, it's got a nice reticle, and I'm gonna get a laser bore scope, and that's the best way to zero in any type of optics, is with a rifle bore scope. So it's pretty much just, I have one for my pellet gun. It's just a little laser in the shape of the bullet, whatever round. Like mine's for my pellet gun, like I said, so it's in the shape of a little pellet. But you can get them for any. My buddy has one for his 5.56. They're like inexpensive. They're about $20. So I would get one of those. Alright, I really gotta go get a screwdriver. Alright, so I already loosened the screws for the Tasco. This will fall right off. Alright, so I already kind of foresee an issue here. So Sig recommends that your eye is 4 inches away from the reticle, which is the scope that you look into, the glass part that you look into, rather. So that might be what the extended scope mount must have been for. They have one that's offset, then they have this one, and then they have one that kind of like extends further back. I might need to buy the one that extends a little bit further back, but we're gonna try it anyway. I'm gonna get this mounted. I'm gonna switch back to the other view so I can use both hands, and I'm gonna mount this and then mount the scope, and we'll see if it's 4 inches away or not. Alright, I finally figured out a way to get myself, my hands, and the weapon in the same shot. I'm trying out this new DJI, it's like a video recorder arm thing. It follows you around. You can set it on different settings where like I can be moving around and it'll follow me, or just trying new things to get better angles and whatnot. So let me know if you like it or if you don't like it. So, okay, now I'm gonna mount my rifle scope mount to my rifle. So I unscrewed 6 out of 8 of the screws, so that way I can just move that aside, put the rifle scope in there, and then tighten them back up. So you need to loosen the screws on the side of your Picatinny mount right here. These screws right here, you gotta loosen, otherwise you're not gonna be able to, it doesn't fit on the Picatinny. So you gotta loosen those up. I think that one's cross-threaded. So I'm gonna mount this as far back as humanly possible on the Picatinny rail, because the lens has to be 4 inches away from your eye. So hopefully I don't have to buy the offset one. I gotta loosen these screws up more. Yeah, because like I said, there was 3 different types on the website. There was this kind, and then there's an offset one, and then one that goes to the rear a little bit more. I'm hoping that I can mount this one far enough back to where I don't have to buy another one. Wow, they're loosening up a lot. Okay, there we go. I know this is not the most riveting content, but this is real life, folks. Things don't always go smoothly. So there we go. That fits on nicely. See how it doesn't move around. It's on there good. It's in. You want it to actually be in the slot. Sometimes, especially with lesser grade Picatinny stuff, it might not fit all the way on, and it might just try and sandwich the sides, and you don't want that. You want it to be a nice tight fit, and you want the screws to just be complementary. You don't want the screws to be doing all the heavy lifting. You want the notches to fit in there properly. And so far, these look like they are passing the test. Okay, those two are tight. And you don't want to over tighten it either. You don't want to, like, that's why I'm using the Allen wrench this way, because if you use it this way, you can get a lot more torque on it. But if you use it this way, it's hard to, you can't get that much torque on it. So I use it this way just to get things snug. And then I might give it like an eighth turn the other way, because you don't want to over tighten these. I'll show you what I mean in a second. All right, so now that I've used the Allen wrench the long way, I'm going to switch it and use it the short way. And like I said, I'm just going to give us a little eighth of an quarter turn. except I was going the wrong way. I was just seeing if you guys are paying attention. All right, now that that's properly tightened. All right, so now this is what we got. We got our rifle scope mount mounted on our rifle. Now it's time to put the scope in. So you're gonna need a tape measure or something for this part because, like I said, Sig recommends that your eyeball be 4 inches from the reticle. So 4 inches is about the middle of this pad right here, and this pad is fully adjustable. I can go up, down, further out, in or out, and same thing with the butt pad. So I think we might have gotten away with it with this scope mount. So I'm gonna swivel these over the top and tighten the scope down and see if we got 4 inches or not. Okay, so I have all 8 screws in the top. They're just snug, they're not tight, so that way I can still move the scope in or out. Now I'm gonna tighten them just a little bit so that way it can still move, but that way it'll stay where I want it to once I do move it. Yeah, like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna literally get a somewhat decent firing position. That feels about right. Take my little tape measure, and we're about, yeah, that's about 4 inches right there. So I know I got a big nose, but I could see it on the other side, but just trust me, it's 4 inches away. So, but I still have a little bit of room to play with back here, but not all rifles are this you know, ingenious when it comes to foresight. You know, Ruger, they just think of stuff like that. They're like, oh, maybe you might need an adjustable cheek plate. So thank you, Ruger, for that, and hopefully it'll be spot on. So I did read the directions. Oh, let me tighten this down. All right, let me tighten this down. I'll be right back. So this is the laser bore scope I was talking about. This particular one is for the 1.77 cal. It's, if you notice, it's in the shape of a 5.56 shell too. But all you do is you tighten it up and see the laser. So you put that in your bore, and then once that's in your bore, then you match your scope to the bore laser, and that's the best zero you can get on any rifle. So they even recommend that in the book, in the instruction manual for Sig, for the Sig optic. So I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like, and they're relatively inexpensive. This one, I think this one was under 20 bucks. I think it was $17. So they sell them for all different calibers. So I highly recommend picking one of these up. Get the best zero ever. All right, so same thing. I tightened all 8 of these screws down. All these Allen screws. I did it this way first and just hand tightened it, and then I did 1/8 of a turn this way. So everything is now mounted, and this is, believe it or not, this was the easy part. So the next part, I'm gonna order that laser bore scope, so that way it'll project a laser, and then the scope already comes relatively zeroed from the factory. So all you have to do once you get a laser bore scope is match the scope to the laser bore scope, and then it'll match exactly what that laser is doing. So I'm gonna wait until I can show you guys in a sec. I have one for my pellet gun just so you know what it looks like. But I'm gonna order that now, and part 2 will be showing you guys how to zero it. So thanks for joining us. Please subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time.